Welcome to another episode of Start to Finish, fueling discipline, focus, and the right mindset. Today we are talking about overthinking. What is it that you're overthinking? What is it that you are spending your time on that is draining your energy, draining your productivity? Sometimes we get stuck in our minds. We get stuck in a continuous loop of overthinking, of rumination, these repetitive thoughts that just disrupt your focus, that takes away your productivity. Instead of working on things that are important, your mind is just constantly in a loop. This is something that I've been experiencing these past few weeks, where I'm just constantly in my mind. I'm thinking about a lot of things. I'm thinking it's not bad thoughts, which for me, which I've been focusing on. It's like, okay, I want to make progress in this part of my life. I want to make progress in my business. I want to make lots of money. It's good thoughts, but then you just get stuck in that loop where you're constantly just thinking of those things. Then it affects you taking action. It affects you actually getting things done, what you need to do for that particular day. You just get overwhelmed with so much thoughts that you literally daydream. But what's most important is to break the loop. So it was until I began to ask questions. I remember just this past week, I was asking the questions. Why am I not doing what I'm supposed to do? Why am I not working on the project that I'm supposed to work on? Why am I not recording more content? You begin to ask yourself, how come I'm here where I'm not functioning, where I'm not doing what I'm supposed to? And it's important to ask the questions. But the next thing is to listen to your intuition. I remember this word, until last week, it did not appear to me. Overthinking. I'd never really intentionally thought of it that way. To me, it's like I'm in my creative zone. But when that creative zone begins to affect you into doing the actual actioning or implementation of the work, it becomes destructive. So I remember this day, and it just drops in my spirit. Overthinking. You're literally overthinking everything. You're literally spending too much time thinking of nothing. Instead of doing the work, you just spending your time thinking. I'm thinking of, I'm trying to perfect my ideas in my mind. Yet I'm supposed to think of an idea, of some concepts, then begin to apply them. You perfect them in action, not in your mind. Because when you continue now getting in that loop, it means you cease to function. A lot of your energy gets lost or gets wasted in that loop where you are just consumed in your thoughts instead of doing the actual work. I'm looking at a situation where in my business, we need to set up systems that function, But when I then begin to focus on the thoughts, we need systems, and not literally do the work, it means I'm losing time. Imagine this can happen for a long time, hey? The most important thing about the journey of our life is to be able to come to a place where you begin to ask yourself the questions. Ask yourself the questions. Is the way I am thinking productive? Is my action amounting to results? Am I really doing what I'm supposed to be doing? So when you begin to ask yourself questions, you begin to find yourself in a place where you correct the trajectory. If you're getting lost, you find your way back. So there's this analogy whereby a plane is constantly, resetting the trajectory. So you are going to London, right? So the plane is constantly setting the trajectory to make sure it reaches London. Otherwise, if it goes in a straight line, it will get to a different destination altogether. So that's basically what we have to continually do. Where we think, we ask the questions and constantly put ourselves in the right trajectory so that we get to our destination. Otherwise, end up missing where we're supposed to go. But most importantly, allow yourself to be action oriented and to be in a space where you think, because creative thinking and action sort of like move together. So what you just have to avoid is to find yourself in that loop which I'm just talking about, where you it just begins to disrupt you. It begins to take away your time from doing what is important, in the sake of wanting to perfect yourself. Sometimes it's about walking the journey. Just take the action. If you find what you are producing is not good enough, then you continue reworking yourself until you get to a place where you have victory, where you are enjoying your creations. But avoid overthinking. Because when you continue overthinking and not taking action, over time, because you're not taking action, you are not seeing results, it begins to affect you as a person. So taking an audit becomes very critical. 73% of 25 to 35-year-olds chronically overthink. 52% of people aging 45 to 55 chronically overthink. The question is, what are you thinking about? Whatever you're thinking about, is it important enough? Is it stressing you? A 25-year-old, you're thinking, am I good enough? Do I know my identity? You're constantly asking, am I going to get married? Is the work I'm doing what I'm supposed to do? We are thinking the negative instead of focusing on the positives. Now, for a 45-year-old, you now have kids, you now have a mortgage. You're constantly getting disrupted to thinking about all these negatives. So that's a big number of people who are constantly overthinking things. Anyone can be stuck in that loop. And I've been there. I've been stuck. I remember just recently talking to my wife, and she's been planning on going back to school, upgrading herself. Now she went in and registered, and she was approved. Now you can come in and do the payment. We know the figures, but now she's thinking, are we going to manage this? Considering we are paying for the kids and everything else, are we going to manage this? Now you begin to overthink and trying now to get yourself out from upgrading yourself because you're thinking of money. You see, when you get that degree, it means you're now in a better position to achieve more, to get a promotion, to gain more value. But when you then begin to worry and you default from doing what you're supposed to do, what it means is that you lose momentum. You get frustrated at some point. Now, this is what happens. After a year later, you see your friend who has gone to school having achieved a promotion, and I should have gone to school. So whatever you're going to do will cause you to get to a certain loop which you have to avoid. So all you have to do is, when you know this is what I'm supposed to do, don't overthink it. Just get it done. Get it out there. Do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. Don't postpone it and overthink it, because next time you see something, that could have been me. I thought of that idea. That business idea was mine. But you overthink it and you told yourself, no, I'm not ready to start a business. Then someone comes up and did exactly the same thing, and they are making their money. And now you are overthinking, why did I not do it when I was supposed to? You end up living in regrets. This aspect of overthinking certain things instead of just taking action, of just plunging in, of just starting to do something, will not push you forward to your destination, to where you are supposed to get, to gain the momentum and the value you're supposed to get. So there are three types of overthinking. You have what is called rumination. Rumination is when something maybe would have happened to you, and now you get into that repetitive thought pattern. So sometimes it's in the evening, your mind starts going all over the place, thinking, oh, my husband hurt me, did this to me. Or you are in that space where you're constantly replaying that thing, that happened to you. Or my boss disrespected me, whatever it is. You begin to replay. It's like a video on autopilot. Over analyzing, just over analyzing everything. You question yourself, you second guess yourself. You are literally over analyzing. Imagine you are at a work and your boss said, can you come and see me on Monday? This is on a Friday. And it's simply, today I don't have time to talk to you. Come see me on Monday. Then you begin to wonder, why does this man want to see me on Monday? Your entire weekend get lost because you begin to overanalyze and begin to say, why does this man wants to see me? You can't even eat your food. You even develop a migraine headache. You can't even spend time with your kids because you're literally analyzing, am I going to be fired? Am I going to be, I did something wrong the other time. Is it why he wants to see me? Then Monday comes. He tells you, you've been doing a great job. We want to promote you. Now we are promoted. Again, you start overthinking. Am I qualified enough? Are people going to listen to me when I give them instructions? Those were my friends, and how am I going to handle this and that? We can't cease to overthink. This thing can be dangerous to the extent that, it gives you that loop. It just changed the versions, of what you're thinking about. But it's literally the same thing which you begin to think on. So that must change. You're constantly thinking about future, tripping about your future. You don't see you only look at doom every time. If someone tells you something, you're thinking, okay, how am I going to handle this one? My wife is going to kill me for this. But there was a scenario, whereby it's Christmas time, and I said, let's visit my parents. But myself, I could not go, so she had to go to visit them. She would drive the car and go there, but it's also rainy. The first question that comes out of your mouth is, but there are potholes that side. Am I going to manage? Am I going to get to the destination? Can we wait that we go together? I'm like, look, you're a driver. You should. No, but it's only women who are going there, who are driving. I'm like, no, come on. You can get it going. You can do this. So eventually she left. She went. She arrived. Everything worked out okay. So sometimes we begin to worry about things that will never happen. I've driven the vehicle she was using. I've gone to so many faraway places, and I've come home without any breakdown. So you begin to think about breakdowns. You begin to think about, we might get mugged, all sorts of things. Look at the future and you can't see anything good about it. You constantly get to a place of fear, of thinking and overthinking. And we all know that Zimbabwe hasn't changed. Then you begin to think about your future. Then you begin to think, am I going to ever amount to anything? Because things have not changed the way I wanted them to change. So this is the end of my life. You don't see any future beyond where we are. I just think when we are faced with situations that we don't have control over, we have to think of two scenarios. Scenario number one: if this worked out the way I expect it to work out, then fair and fine. It gives me more opportunities in this space. Then the flip side: if this does not work out the way I want it to work out, what do I do? We now live in a global village. You have to find a job somewhere else where you feel you will still be able to function, where you feel you will still be able to move forward with your life, instead of living in a loop of worry because things did not go your way. Chances were, the probability was small that things were going to change in that direction. So why live in a loop instead of finding the solution of saying, this is where I am, let me change things for myself? When you do that, you find yourself in a space of progress. Here are a few hacks. Something that you can do when you find yourself in that loop in your mind, where your mind goes on a bender. Do you know you are the custodian of your life? You are the custodian of your thoughts. You have control of everything that happens in your mind. You see, when you live an intentional life, when you live a self-aware life, where you begin to check every thought that you experience, then you are in a better position to change your life, to change your future, to change your destiny, to bring yourself to a different trajectory. It's all you. You can then decide, I don't like this thought, let me change it. You can literally structure when to worry and when not to worry. You cannot allow everything to just happen to you. You should be in a position to be in control of your whole self. Look at me realizing, this is overthinking. Then I get to a place where I'm learning, what is it called overthinking? How is it this? Then when you begin to look back, so this has been happening to me for a long time, where in these instances I end up overthinking certain things and they end up disrupting me. I end up not making progress because of it. Sometimes it's good to shut off the noise, be with yourself, and begin to look at your life. Look yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself. Which areas do I need to change? And begin to better yourself. That is the only way we can reach the finish line. So, number one, taking action. There's nothing that beats just doing something. Whether you're doing it right, whether you're doing it broken, whether you are speaking broken English, whatever it is, just take action. To avoid overthinking, take action. What is it that you are thinking about? Does it require you to take action? Does it require you to talk to someone? You are angry with someone, but when you see them, you get super angry. Then you start overthinking about it. Why not talk to the person and make things right? Maybe they don't know that's how you feel. But the moment you take action, you change your life. Do that thing that you're overthinking about. I'm recording this episode because I was overthinking. Then boom, it becomes an episode where I'm like, this is, if I am going through this, there's someone out there who is going through exactly the same challenges, the same situations, where they're just overthinking. I followed my intuition, and there's a solution to overthinking. Get out of your mind. Get out of your mind and into your body. How do you do that? Go for a run. Just be present in the moment. Do you know when you spend time with your kids, just having a conversation with your loved one, asking them questions, being in the present, then that overthinking just disappears. So get out of your mind into your body. Be present where you are. At your work, be present doing the work and enjoying the work. Meditation. A few minutes where you quiet out and silence the thoughts. I said you can control your mind. You control your mind. You can tell your mind what to think about. You can decide to think about the good things that has happened to you in the past, or you can choose to allow your mind to wander off and come up with the subject of things to think about. You begin to think, this person broke my heart, this person did this to me, that person did this to me, my boss fired me, what. You begin to think about, but you can begin to think, you know what, I visited this friend of mine, I had a good time. You can allow yourself to think what you want. This can be through meditation. Acknowledge that you're overthinking. That's one step. Acknowledge that you're overthinking. Then you begin to change those thoughts. I've acknowledged that I was overthinking. I know what I'm supposed to do. Now I am doing it because I've acknowledged that I'm overthinking. Be a solutions-driven person. Think solutions. When you're faced with a challenge, think solutions. Sometimes we begin to think so much negativity. We begin to think, what will happen here? I'm going to be in trouble. Think solutions. So when you begin to think, okay, I'm faced with this problem. What is my solutions? Begin to calculate, I've got solution A, B, C, or I just have one solution. So let me focus on that one solution. Instead of worried. And when you're worried, you're never really going to come up with anything that will soothe you. Only when you get to a place where, so these are my solutions. I've spent someone's money without being given. Instead of continually hiding from them, running away from them, let me just face them and say, look, this is what happened. I'm sorry. They can be angry, they can shout at you, but the fact that you have faced them, now you no longer lie. Now you switch on your phone. When someone calls with a different number, you can't even answer. It could be, a new job. But because you owe someone and you are running away from them, busy running away, it only means that you miss opportunities. Intentionality. I can't stop saying this word. Be intentional. Be self-aware. Be self-aware of destructive thoughts. When they start popping in, you know, this is one. I should run away. I should put my focus somewhere. Shift focus. Brain dumps that thing. Just take it out from your thoughts to your paper. Write it down. I'm thinking about this. This is negative. I don't want to think about it. You put it down. You write it down. You empty your spirit. We want 2024 to be a great year. The only way we can get there is when we stop overthinking. When we think thoughts and put them into action as quickly as we are thinking about them. Do you know sometimes we can write a business plan, a beautiful business plan. Come execution, we don't put it to action. We are thinking, maybe we are not ready. Let's wait for a month and see how things are going to turn out. Then we'll do it. No, come on. Let's get to action. Let's start doing something. Let's start moving forward. That is going to bring you more ideas, more thoughts. I was just looking at our business. So we have a beautiful business plan, um, marketing strategy, which we have to apply. But when I was looking at that strategy, I'm thinking, okay, we have written down we need X amount of budget for this, we need this and that, we need this covered, we need to do this much advertising, is going to cost X amount. Now the aspect of doing, what if we do it and it does not produce the result that we want? Last year was a bad year. You begin just to overthink instead of doing, instead of, full throttle. Sometimes it's about burning the bridge behind you because you want to go forward. Because if that thing is still behind you, still think, maybe, okay, let's wait and see what happens after this time. The only way to move forward is to get things done. What you would have set in your mind, what you have written down, and you're supposed to do it. Just get it done. Whether it yields the results that you want or it doesn't, that's another thing that you have to deal with. That's why it's important to review things. Don't review in view of, okay, I haven't done anything. When you haven't done anything, there's nothing there to review. The only thing that you can review is when you'd have taken some form of action. Now you're saying, this is not working. Maybe we need to shift the direction of this whole process. So yeah, there you go. Stop overthinking. Be present. Do something every day. There is greater progress when we do something every day. Let's go and do the work. Talk to me. What is it that you're overthinking about? After this conversation, how do you plan to shift and cut that loop from continually happening? I'm cutting off that loop. I will do the action that I can. As long as I make progress today, I'm more than happy with that little progress. Tomorrow I'll try again. And before you know it, we have accomplished goals, man. So let's go. Let's push. Because come in 2024, we are standing at the finish line. It doesn't matter whatever pace that you're moving at, you will get your finish line. But it will require you to change certain habits, change certain attitudes, change certain behaviors. They'll never change on their own. You have to take the action to change them.